Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton action and beyond. This week, we chat with Indonesia's Debbie Susanto and Praveen Jordan about being next in line to be the country's top mixed doubles pairing. And we find out how New York City badminton is making an impact in the Big Apple. In the world of elite badminton, Indonesia continues to be one of the best in the business. Currently number 2 in the mixed doubles world rankings, 3-time All-England champions Tontowi Ahmad and Liliana Natsir are amongst the biggest reasons for the nation's standing. Keen to safeguard their mastery in the format, the Indonesia Badminton Association has lined up some emerging talent in preparation. Leading this young and hungry pack is this year's Southeast Asian Games gold medalists Debbie Susanto and Praveen Jordan.
Honestly, we want to be able to replace them. They've already achieved so much and they're not getting any younger. For the rest of us who are below them, it's a matter of how we can follow their footsteps. As soon as we're able to be on par with them, when they're no longer able to sustain their high level, we'll take over. This is so that Indonesia has a successful regeneration.
Generasi terus.
We sat down with the world number 10 duo in the nation's capital, Jakarta, recently, as they took time off to talk about their journey so far. Praveen and Debbie shared a similar introduction to badminton. Both couldn't find their footing in school, but found their place on the badminton courts instead.
Awalnya dari orang tua, hobi.
The interest began with my parents. My father's hobby was badminton, and he got his children to try and play. Soon enough, I fell in love with it. But a big factor at that time was my laziness for school. I was thinking if I played badminton, I will need to go for classes. It was the love for the sport that got me through.
Jatuh cinta sampai sekarang.
Saya suka ngeluh gitu sama.
I loved to complain to my parents saying that school is so tiring. But actually, it was just an excuse for me to stop my studies. My folks, however, were supportive and asked me to decide. They just wanted me to be serious.
Maunya saya apa, tapi yang penting serius gitu aja.
Praveen and Debbie come from Kalimantan and Sumatra respectively. With a 5-year age gap, they both refined their game in Jakarta's big city club, Jarum. Debbie, now 26 years old, joined the national setup in 2008, while the younger Praveen was selected just last year. It may have been a long road to get to where they are now, but for Debbie, the hard work was worth the journey.
Dari lokal turnamen kita juara, kita mencoba untuk ke Jakarta.
From local tournaments, we kept winning and we tried for Jakarta. When we got there, we still went through selection trials and more tournaments because competition is stiff at Jarum. If our results were good, only then we'll get into the club. You can't describe the feeling. Of course, you're proud of it because out of so many, we're given this opportunity to represent the country. It's unbelievable. I really can't put it in words.
Mewakili negara itu bagi kita sih hal yang luar biasa ya. Jadi nggak bisa diungkapin.
They started out with different partners and enjoyed considerable success on the international circuit. But with Debbie's then partner Muhammad Rijal resigning from the national team and Praveen's other half Vita Marisa reaching the tail end of her career, they were left looking for options. For the coaches, pairing them together last year made perfect sense, beginning another one of the country's emerging mixed doubles partnerships. The new duo ended 2014 with a runners-up finish at the Malaysia Masters before nailing bronze at the Asian Games. Despite coming up short again in this year's edition of the Masters in Sarawak, Praveen and Debbie notched their first triumph by taking gold in June's Southeast Asian Games.
Sebenarnya biasa aja sih ya.
To be honest, we weren't feeling tensed during the final. But when I watched it after, I was quite nervous. I was shocked that I was able to play as well as I did. It was unforgettable when we sang the Indonesian national anthem.
Indonesia Raya di podium.
Buat kami sangat membanggakan ya, apalagi kan kita.
For us, it's a proud moment, as we haven't had the title together. The SEA Games isn't easy. It has its own pressure. It means a lot to have the Indonesian flag raised up high.
Di negara orang lain.
As a pair, Praveen and Debbie are already plotting a path to more success. They're intent on building on their latest win with further coups on the BWF circuit.
Ya kita pasti mau juara ya.
Of course, we want to be champions. Maybe we weren't able to win in previous tournaments because we were lacking focus, but that can't happen again. Whatever it takes, we want to collect a title at the World Superseries.
Mau dipasangin siapa aja.
In doubles, we need to be always ready with whoever we are partnered with. Constant communication with each other is vital in or off the courts. This will help us to know our partner better in terms of personality and style of play.
Kita tuh seperti apa, bermain seperti apa.
And with the Rio Olympics coming up, their determination is even stronger.
Ikut aja tuh kayaknya tuh udah.
To just be able to compete there, maybe I'll have sleepless nights. I can't imagine the feeling to be able to win a medal. It should be the proudest moment.
Bangga sekali rasanya.
Dan nggak semua atlet bisa masuk situ.
Not every player gets to go. You have to be in the top 8. If you are able to get a place, that's already an achievement for us.
Suatu prestasi sendiri untuk kita.
As Indonesia continues its path to rediscover its past glories, the nation knows that they have amongst them a gifted partnership with the steely resolve that's needed to be champions. Time to test your badminton knowledge. We want you to tell us who this player is. I was born in Denmark. I am a world champion. I'm an Olympic silver medalist. We'll tell you the answer after the break. When we return, we're in the Big Apple to find out more about the work New York City Badminton is doing to grow the sport. Before the break, we asked you to tell us who this player is. I was born in Denmark. I am a world champion. I'm an Olympic silver medalist. The answer is Camilla Martin. The Danish player defeated China's Dai Yun to clinch the 1999 Women's Singles World Championship title. A silver medalist in the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games, a 3-time European champion and an All-England winner, Camilla Martin was one of Denmark's best female shuttlers. New York City. Cosmopolitan. Trend-setting. Fast-paced. Cutting-edge. And culturally diverse. It's unlike any other city in the world. Most of all, it's the gateway to opportunity. And that was what prompted Chi Bing-woo to set up a badminton club. When the former Chinese national player arrived in the big city over 20 years ago, he discovered very few New Yorkers know badminton. In fact, most were clueless about the sport.
When I came here, when I came to New York, the most people, when I talk about badminton, people say, badminton, what's the badminton? It's the barbecue, the ones that hold the beef and the one that hold the rockets.
This is sports because it's not so popular. So we want to push this game into become a popular game. It's actually could be a very popular game. It's an indoor sport. You could play all year round, not affected by weather, and it's a good sweat.
Club badminton has been in New York since the 1800s, but because it was exclusively for members and only played seasonally, the sport stayed within a small community. Established in 1996, New York City Badminton started in similar fashion. But in seeking to build the sport, the club has grown into a badminton center for training, lessons, recreation, and youth development.
20 years ago, people coming to a club, they're much higher level. They were professional, former professional, semi-professional, or they play in the county level, in the provincial level. Very competitive, but very few. Not many people can say, I don't know how to play, can I just come in to play? I just want to have fun. We don't have at that time. Now we have more regular people coming for recreational or just coming to know badminton they want to get into. And they're bringing their children to come in to try.
New York City Badminton had its first facility in Manhattan, and a second center opened up in Queens 5 years ago to cater to the growth in demand for courts. Located in the easternmost side of the city and opposite of Manhattan, it was also aimed at reaching out to more people.
We started this club, and then this way it can open up to people who love badminton. They can come anytime they want. Mostly right now we open up to midnight every day. Even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday open up to 4 a.m. So this way people who has time, they can just pop in to play. And for kids, we're running weekend program and the summer program.
The profile of badminton in New York recently received a boost after the sport was introduced into the school system. As a competitive sport in school, it's hoped that more youth will learn badminton and take up the sport seriously.
Last year, they started to push badminton into high school team in the public schools. I mean, not say everybody will choose badminton, but for a lot of kids, they don't think they're very good in basketball, volleyball, tennis, and this could be a very good option for them to try. I think it's a very bright future for badminton in the East Coast.
The club also recently hosted top-class badminton athletes when international players were in the city for the Yonex Suffolk County Community College US Open Badminton Championships. For many club players, it was an eye-opener interacting with the best in the sport.
Most of the players, they rarely see live how hard those players were trained. You see Victor coming today. He's been here for a couple of days. He gets up 6 o'clock in the morning, do 3 hours of physical training, then coming to badminton. There's a lot of combination, a lot of hard work behind it. So everybody like realize and see, beside the bright shining star on the court, they have a lot of sweat behind it.
You know, I think here, in the States, badminton is not as big a sport, as baseball and NHL and stuff like that. So, I think we have to do everything we can to try to, get the Americans interested. And NYBC are doing the best, and I think it's good to see that there is a club here in New York where you can play badminton.
And watching firsthand top international players in action has also left a deep impression on the club players and has given the young players the motivation to strive for more in badminton.
Wow, the game can be played at such high level. And, like for us, we seldom get to see people who play at international level. So it helps us to want to, get our kids involved.
We saw, all those top ranking level players they play. Then you see everybody has to work hard to be that level. It's a stimulate a lot of younger players. Tell them, that this could be your future.
Recognizing the need to raise the level of badminton to produce a top player for the future, the club has focused on developing the young and have been sending their best talents to China for higher training.
We started about 3 years ago, we have to do, and also now we want, have a contact with some club in China. We have a corporation, that we want to build one club in China.
The kids from here, they're very talented, but up to a level there's no competitor they could train for. They could go using their vacation time back in China to train with the higher level kids.
The efforts of New York City Badminton Club have seen the sport grow and develop within the community. Badminton is certainly taking more than a bite out of the Big Apple. Introduced in 2012, the President's Medal is an award presented by the Badminton World Federation to distinguish individuals or organizations who have made exceptional contributions to the sport. Thai King Bhumibol Adulyadej was the first recipient of the medal for his lifetime support and promotion of badminton spanning over 50 years. At the recent Yonex Open Japan, BWF President Paul Eric Hoyer honored Yonex founder Minoru Yoneyama with a prestigious award, making him only the second recipient of the President's Medal.
I'm happy that so many people are playing the sport of badminton. The important thing is that the racket each player holds enables them to play the game and to play with joy.
The influence Yonex has had on badminton in the last 55 years has been profound. Yonex became the title sponsor of the prestigious All England Badminton Open Championships in 1984, and to this day continues to be the proud supporter of the world's oldest badminton competition. In 1988, it extended its support by signing a sponsorship agreement with the BWF. Their backing at all levels, from international events to grassroots projects, has helped badminton further develop across the globe over the last 25 years. At home, Yoneyama invested his personal assets to establish the Yonex Sports Development Foundation. By providing financial support for young athletes and sporting activities, he has been influential in helping grow the sport to what it is today in Japan.
We want to continue to reach more players, both social and professional players around the world. Most of all, we want to bring joy to the people with the sport, for them to maintain a healthy lifestyle just by swinging the racket.
For his exceptional contribution to badminton, Minoru Yoneyama is truly deserving of BWF's highest honor, the President's Medal. All eyes were focused on the court as the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium hosted this year's edition of the Yonex Open Japan. First order of play was a mixed doubles final as China's Jiang Nan and Zhao Yunlei went up against Danish duo Joachim Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen. World champions Zhang and Zhao knew they had all to do against a pair they hadn't beaten since 2013. That unwanted record continues as world number 5 tandem Fischer-Nielsen and Pedersen grabbed the rubber to claim the title in a tight encounter. Final score 17-21, 21-18, 23-21. Next was an all-Japanese affair as 2013 winner Akane Yamaguchi faced compatriot Nozomi Okuhara in the women's singles final. Teenage prodigy Yamaguchi went into this in great form, having ousted some of the top names in the earlier rounds, including Olympic champion Lee Sherei. But against US Open winner Okuhara, Yamaguchi couldn't replicate her good form. In a contest that lasted 42 minutes, Okuhara claimed the win in straight games 21-18, 21-12. It was another China-Denmark affair in the men's singles final as Lin Dan took on Dane Victor Axelsen. Having already defeated longtime rival Lee Chong-wei on day 2, and with world champion Chen Long crashing out early, Lin was primed for the title. Despite Axelsen's best efforts, Lin's class shone through as he sealed his first title of the year. Final score 21-19, 16-21, 21-19. The rivalry continued between the two nations as Denmark's Christina Pedersen and Camilla Ritter-Juhl crossed rackets against China's scratch pair Zhao Yunlei and Zhong Xianxin. Pedersen and Ritter-Juhl were looking for their third title of the season, having clinched wins at the Yonex Sunrise Malaysia Masters and Yonex German Open earlier this year. The challenge of Zhao and Zhong proved too much though as the Danish women went down in straight games. 21-12, 21-16 to the Chinese duo. Korea's sole presence in the finals came in the form of men's doubles pair Lee Yong-dae and Yu Yeon-seong as they went up against Fu Haifeng and Jiang Nan from China. By their own high standards, the Koreans have underachieved this season with only the Star Australian Open title so far. But in this encounter, they showed they were back on the winning trail, dispatching Fu and Jiang in a pulsating end to a fascinating match. Final score read 21-19, 29-27. After the break, we speak to 15-year-old Goh Jin Wei from Malaysia about her badminton dreams. In this week's One for the Future, we focus on a player who is not even 16 years old but is already a star in Malaysian badminton. Since her first tournament at the age of 8, Goh Jin Wei has amassed numerous national titles. This year, the 15-year-old became the youngest player to debut at the Southeast Asian Games, where she went on to clinch a bronze in the women's singles and silver in the team event. Jin Wei's badminton skill was cultivated in her hometown Bukit Mertajam in Penang. The Malaysian state is renowned for producing world-class players, from the late Eddie Chung to the country's leading men's singles shuttler Lee Chong Wei. And it seems Jin Wei could be the next in line. Hailed by Lee as a future badminton star, the right-hander's path was set by her father.
I started playing badminton when I was 6 years old. My dad introduced the sport to me because he wanted me to keep fit. A coach spotted me and he went on to train and groom me.
Juggling both studies and badminton, Jin Wei began picking up title after title at both the school and national levels. But the petite shuttler's talent seemed to have gone under the radar of the national setup until an interest from a neighbouring country highlighted her potential in the sport.
When I was 12, I applied to Singapore Sports School because I felt I would have a better prospect studying there. When Badminton Association of Malaysia found out that my application was successful, they offered me a place in the national team. So I felt this arrangement was better for me.
The following year, Jin Wei moved to Kuala Lumpur, where the National Training Centre is located. Under centralised guidance, the Penang-born right-hander continues to see podium finishes. Just last year, she defeated a more experienced national player, Yang Li Lian, to become the youngest shuttler ever to win the women's singles gold medal in the biennial Malaysian Games. This year, she nabbed her first senior national title at the Maybank Kuala Lumpur Open. Besides her age, Jin Wei's height is also very much under the media spotlight. Standing close to 1.6 meters, she draws her inspiration from Japan's Akane Yamaguchi.
My idol is Yamaguchi. The Japanese player is only 1.59 meters in height, but her movement on court is very fast. I admire her a lot. I hope I can be like her one day.
In the international arena, the 15-year-old is progressing steadily. She was the quarter-finalist at the BWF World Junior Championships last season. This year, the teenager took the bronze medal at the Asian Junior Championships, but not before winning the Yonex German Junior in Berlin. But it was her 2015 SEA Games accomplishments that became a headline grabber. In her quarter-final match against the experienced Nichawon Jindapon, the gutsy Malaysian held her nerves in a tight second game to secure her bronze medal against the then world number 36 in women's singles.
When I was playing against her, I did not have any pressure. I was quite relaxed. In contrast, she was very tense and made more mistakes than me.
Besides the medals and the recognition, it was the experience gained playing at the international multi-event tournament that means most to the teenager.
At the SEA Games, there were many times I had to defend or win crucial points, so I have learned to handle such situations. This is good experience for me, and I believe it will benefit me in the future.
Still young and with a bright future ahead of her, Jin Wei is in no rush to take on the world's best just yet. She is content to take one tournament at a time.
For this year, my goal is the BWF World Junior Championships. This championship is a very important platform for me to identify my future opponents, so I can analyze and note the differences in our standards. I could then understand my shortcomings and work on them when I'm back in training.
Determined, resolute with a quiet demeanour and maturity that belies her age, the name Goh Jin Wei looks set to be part of the next generation of elite shuttlers. Get connected with us. Log on to these websites for videos and photos and get the latest news and information on all things badminton. Missed an episode of Badminton Unlimited? Or perhaps you just want to catch your favorite episode again? You can do so at your convenience on our YouTube channel. All the best badminton clips are just a click away. Let's find out what's happening on the international circuit in our Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, we give a full report on the first Shuttle Time Dubai Club Championships. See you next week.